Good morning. It's Wednesday, December 8th, 2021. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang Taiji Sword. I have a couple little things, real quick, and then we'll get busy. Get to work, we'll get busy, pick one. I have, this week, looked at what I've been doing and some of the material that I presented, etc., etc. For the last almost 2 years now, starting in March 2020, I've been 5 days a week presenting something. I'm going to take a little vacation in January. So we're going to finish everything for this year. We finish Wudang Taiji Sword. I've already shown the ending. I finish that today. And then I'm going to take a little bit of a break. And what I'm going to do during that time is two things. First, I'm going to review again. I look at everything that I do. I really do. And I'm going to review that and start looking at how to better package it so that the material is more accessible. Don't have to look through 10 videos to find this particular piece of instruction or that particular thing. I make it easier to find stuff. The second thing that I want to do is to reorganize a little bit what I'm doing and how I'm presenting so that as we start again, and I'm just going to take a break, I'm not quitting, right? As we start again, I'm going to look at how to bring a little bit more to the instruction. So maybe on 1 week we're going to work on Taiji Sword, another week we're going to work on Dragon Sword, another week we're going to work on... So as I build this up and put the material into a more constructive form, we'll have that opportunity to expand what I'm doing and add a little bit more depth. I did this with, I'll put the coffee down and get the sword. I did this with Yang Style Tai Chi in a 12-week series. And that model is kind of what I'm looking at. So Monday, we covered the physical form. Tuesday, paid attention to the internal work. And I touched a little bit on some of the applications. That same idea is what I want to do with the remaining material that I have, which is quite a bit actually. So Monday we may do physical stuff. Tuesday we're going to pay attention to the internal workmanship. Wednesday we may be going to pay attention to the applications. Thursday and Friday, let me think about it. All right. Thursday and Friday have been Wudang Qigong classes for quite some time. My thought right now is that I'm going to change that. That there's going to be something else that we'll be doing on Thursday and Friday after the beginning of the year. And I want to connect it with this idea of building on what we're doing rather than changing from day to day. So if you're coming in person, coming once a week, you're going to come to sword class, you're going to come to Tai Chi class, you're going to come to Baba class, whatever class you're going to come to. You build up over time. That's how it works. Right? With video, I need to do something a little bit different. And the daily adjustments that I need to make will be a little bit different with this idea of a little bit more continuity in what we're doing. Sword. A little warm up. I'm going to show this facing you, and then I'm going to turn around and we're going to do together. Figure eights, and engage the legs. And sink. Alright? This is, let me kind of step back. This is a moderate horse stance. This is high, this is lower. This is about halfway in between. Knee circles around, we're going to the outside, so the knee circles around the outside of the toes. And the feet, this is a figure eight here. So, knee circles to the outside, knee circles to the outside. Keep the weight set through the back of the leg. Pay attention to turning the waist. Yeah, alright. I'm just checking to see if you can make sure you can see my feet. Horse stance, not too high, not too low, halfway in between. And set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And keep going. Keep going. Don't stop. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, and come on up. Alright, this should have given you a little bit warm up through the legs, right? And warm up through the wrist. Let's start. Feet together, stand straight. Pull up through the crown head. Salute. Wudang Taiji Sword. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. Shift all the way to the right. Sink. Open left. And turn. Come up. And down. Center. 1, 2, 3. Change hands. Up. And down. And around. Set. One, two, come back. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3. 1, and jump. Turn around. Alright, I'm going to slow that down, and we're going to work on that last part. There were a couple of different places that, for my part, need more work. And there is and I'm going to say it, there is an inherent difficulty in working in a smaller space. The idea that I have unlimited room, I need to open the door and go outside for that. Not conducive to teaching unless we're in person, and then it works really good. It doesn't work so good for recording. I tried. I did look at it. I did. When I very first started, I looked at it. All right, so with that in mind, that we have restrictions based on the space that's available, we need to pay attention to how we use that space and how we manage that space. All right, now this morning, just now, my management was a little bit off. Try again. Feet together, stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Salute. Yeah, from the beginning. Sink. Open. Turn left. Come across. Down right. Center. 1, 2, 3. Shift back. Slice up. Come across. And in. Come around. Down. Up. Heel. Toes. One, 2, 3. All right, right there. I'm going to start this series over with the idea that the space that I'm covering, how much space am I using, is, the way I'm doing this right now, much closer to what I would be doing if I were outside and I had unlimited space. Okay? So let's start with needle at C-bottom, and to the back, turn, up, out. This comes around and goes out. So as I set, here, come around this, we do lean back, should lean back, and come out, straight out. We're on the 45, leg is straight, not here, here. One, 2, 3, and if I do that, I hit the wall. Right? One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I end up at the wall again, right? This form travels, and it travels. Staying centered with the extension, not nearly enough room. Not nearly enough room. All right, this last piece, all right, we're going to come up 1, 2, 3. And this is actually one of my favorite moves. As I come up, 1, 2, 3. There is a little bit, just a little, not a lot, of a lean. Right? I bring the sword up. Foot comes up and stays. Bring the foot in, don't let it flop out. Right? So, no, yes. The more accustomed, I was looking for a word there. The more accustomed you are to holding your foot, putting it in a position, the easier it is to maintain your balance on one leg. Right. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Up, turn it over and come around. This comes up, turn it around. Just that much in the wrist as you come up. We then have a sequence of step and a jump. Again, hitting the wall, literally hitting the wall. So as we move, paying a little bit more attention to where that space is, and in my case, especially this morning, not trying to cover all of it. Okay? I'll talk about that in a minute. 1, 2, 3, and 1 down in. It's more of a hop than a jump, right? 1, 2, 3. Right? That little bit matters. So you go 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Sword is here. It's down. Not here. Straight in. 1, 2, 3. Come around 1, down, in. Now I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to turn around. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Follow the point of the sword. All right? As this comes around, pay attention to the point of the sword, not the slice. This is not slice. This is a jab. Pointy. Pointy. Point. All right? As you turn, pay attention to where this goes. Keep the hand loose, not so loose that you drop the sword, but loose enough that you can turn it. Right? Circle. Another circle. Alright, this is the same as what we're doing right now. Right? That circle, pay attention. Up 1, 2, 3, come around 1, jump, and turn. As we step out, slice down. We're going to repeat that twice. And I need to be smaller to just do this. About this size. Right? Pay attention, we're going to do this whole series, just pay attention to the tip of the sword, pay attention to the turn. 1, 2, 3, come up 1, and in, turn, and come down. My hand position is here. As I come out, right? And in again. Turn. 1. Whole series. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and turn. 1, 2, 1, 2. Again. Yeah, the whole thing. And go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, come around. 1, 2, 1, 2. One, 2, 3. 1, 2. Another jump. The stepping method and how we end up to get us to the next move. This is something that I paid a lot of attention to, something I beat up on quite a bit in all of the forms classes. Sword is not a beginning thing. It's not. I've talked about this before, I'm going to say it again, and then we're going to do this series again. Working with an object, right? In this case, I have a straight sword. Working with an object is not something that beginners should do. Beginner has not yet learned fundamentals for the art, has not yet learned stepping, to be able to manage stepping method, manage the space, and the idea that we are extending the energy of whatever we're doing through the sword, through whatever it is not something that is reasonable to expect a beginner to be able to do. It's not. In in-person class, I will not do, this is video, so, you know, welcome, and I'm happy that you're here, but in-person class, there would never be a beginner in my in-person sword class. Not gonna happen. I've had people ask me, I just want to learn Wudang sword, I want to learn that dragon sword thing. Have you ever studied any of the Wudang arts? Have you learned anything from me? Do you know, did you learn from one of my Kung Fu brothers, or even maybe my teacher, the person that taught me this? No, no, I did some gymnastics, I did some other thing, right? Then learn Tai Chi first, come back and talk to me after that, or learn Tai Chi, come to Tai Chi class. And after you get to a certain point, I will look at your form and I will say, yeah, it's time. The general rule of thumb for me is about a year. Maybe, and I'm cutting that short, but somebody comes and studies for a year. They learn Tai Chi and they're doing reasonably well. They want to learn sword. Okay, come on. Somebody comes and studies Tai Chi for 2 weeks and says, yeah, I'm ready now. No, you're not. Ready? All right, this series. Start. And 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Turn around, come out, down, come through, in, out. From here, 1, 2, down, in. 1, 2, in, and back. I'm going to do that in a minute. All right. This series covers a lot of space, right? 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Come around. I only did a couple of moves. I'm going to space again. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. This idea, I'm going forward. I am going. There are turns and we move backwards, but we don't back up. We keep going. One more time. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Turn. Come out. As we step out, bring the sword down. Here. Down. In. And yes, there is a step there, and yes, it should connect. All right? One more time. 1, 2, 3. Come up. 1. Step down. In. Turn around. Come across. In. Down. Out. From here. 1. 1, 2, 3. Again, Or jump, yes, there is a jump there. These are not intended to be big jumps with a lot of lift. They're not. They're small, and we're paying much more attention to what the sword should be doing, not how high can I jump. Okay? This really is much more of a skip than a jump. Set, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Again. A little bit different than what we did going the other direction. So as I step through, come around, down, in. This one, slice down, in. The angle, give or take 45. It's not straight down, down and out. The emphasis is at the tip of the sword, not the slice. We just did the slice, right? Okay. So as I'm here, step up, 1, slice down, right? Come around, slice, slice, in. Direction is down. Here, it's across. Slice across. Across, across, and in. With the jump. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. One more. One more time. Let's cheat. 1. 1, 2. Down and in. Bring it back. And set. And I am going to show this in just a second. I'm going to take a half a second. As the sword comes back, slice and down. This comes down with a little bit of the idea of out. We have, quit talking and just do it. All right. From here, 1, 2, step in, down. Yeah, I'm going to have to slow that down, aren't I? All right. Almost done. This is the very end of Wudang Taiji Sword. As I sit here, this does go all the way down. All right, I'm not going all the way down today. Not happening. But it does go all the way down. So as we sit, keeping weight on your leading leg matters, because that's the one that's going to take you down and bring you back up. This one. My helping leg back here should have some weight on it, but not too much. And just like coiling snake in our Qigong sets and our 3 basic methods, we use this turn, we use the twist through the body to go up and down. One more time. 1, 2, step in. Bring it back and down. All right. The shape of the form should be correct, should be in good alignment, and should carry the weight through the movement. If the goal is make my form perfect, right? Everything's going to be perfect. We want this, we work for it. But at a certain point, we also need to pay attention to what we're actually doing, right? So, and I'm going to draw the contrast here. There could be, and I'm going to do this, there could be beautiful form, elegant, everything's perfect, looks great, but the substance that goes with what's behind the move, it may be a little mushy. First time, right now, with the idea that everything should be perfect. Each move should be perfect. All right, let's start here. Set up and in, and come back. All right? Nice, it's okay. A little bit more, second time, a little bit more of the idea that I really do know what the sword is supposed to be doing. Oh, looks different, doesn't it? Should. Both of these are good for practice. The first one gives us plenty of time to pay attention to the outward movement, body alignment, shape of the form, how does it look, right? The second one shows a little bit more of this idea of intent. That there's something more than just, oh, let's put this here, and now we'll move it over here, and then we'll move it over here, and we'll do... No, there's something behind it. And this is exactly the kind of thing, and we're just about finished with form, we're going to turn around in a minute. It's exactly the kind of thing that I was talking about with the idea that sword is not a beginner level thing. It's not. One more time. Set, 1, 2, step in, come back, down. Oh! As I come around, I'm checking the ceiling up here. I'm here. Oh! And up. And it's not slow. I slowed that way down. Those figure eights we were doing at the beginning of class, useful. Down, come around, right? From here, come around, and around, and up. One more time. All right, and I tucked my foot to support my other leg. I'm moving slower. I normally would not do that. The foot comes up. It's not tucked back here. No? Yes. Lazy. I'm lazy. From here, turn, 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 and up. And we do turn around. Okay? So, as we're coming around with the sword, we have to turn around and go the other direction. Back here. Alright? If you're following with me, at the point that we sink and sit down, right? You are not facing me. You're facing the other way, right? Again, this is one of those difficulties. So, I'm going to turn around. Should be here. I'm going to turn around so you can follow me. We're going to turn all the way around. 1, 2, 3. Again. At the end of this, you're now facing away from me. All right? Down. 1, 2, 3. Set. 1, 2. Step in. Down. Sit. Come around. And up. Oops. Other leg. This is probably one of the best examples of muscle memory that I could give, and I wasn't trying to do it intentionally. All right? As I came around, right? I'm showing this already. Okay, let's do this, bring the leg up. This leg. One more time. One, two. Stay up, bring it down, come across, and close. We do it again. As we come around, My brain has decided to not work for a minute. Give me a minute. One more time. Set. 1, 2, step in. Whole thing. One, two, three, step up 1 and 2. Turn around, 1. Come across and in. Down and in. Step 1. 3. As we come up, doing this live is hard, tell you. I'm going to review. I'm going to give it this way today. I'm going to review this, and I'll come back to it. From here, come around, up, in, down, pull across. Change hands. And close. Make sure that your hand position, same as at the beginning, make sure that your hand position gives you enough space to take the sword in the other hand. Right? From here, around. Not going to do that. 1, come around, up, in, down, cross. We're still on one leg. Turn blade. Stab out to the other side. Sit. Come around. Up. Down. Down. In. Slice down. Pull. Change hands, and close. A lot of things that we do are relatively simple. The more complicated we try to make a move, the less chance we have that it's correct. It's true. This series and yes, we can lean a little bit. Not a lot. No. Some. My target's there. I'm going there. Right? But not too much. It has to still be in balance. Nope. I want here. and come down. As the sword comes down, slice and slice across. As you pull the blade back, ready the other hand. Change hands. From here, set. Feet are a little bit apart here, not too wide and not straight together. Step up, 1, 2, 3, in, sit, come around, up, in, down, pull across, change hands, and close. We'll work on, do this one more time. We'll work on the turns a little bit more as we're going through the review. The direction, I've talked about this repeatedly, the direction matters. And it's really hard to pick it up from a video, okay? If I'm here, you should be not looking at me. You should be facing the other way. Makes it hard for you to see what I'm doing. Unless you got like multiple screens, and then it's easy. All right, but generally, this is why I do some things and turn around. All right, so we're here, down, come around, 1, 2, 3, up, in. Don't lean, don't fall over. I did. I hardly ever practice this form slowly. I hardly ever take it this slow. So there's that. The advantage, okay, and you're looking at it, the advantage of moving more slowly is that you have to be more precise. If you're not, you won't be in balance. Down, come around, up, in, down. One more. Set, come around, 1, 2, 3. As we come up here, pay attention to the shoulder, so that as you bring the sword up, you're not doing that. That's what I was doing. Hey, analysis, right? If I keep my shoulder down as this comes up, I'm now in a good position to execute the next move. It depends on my leg coming up as well, but all right. So as I come up here, hold the shoulder, in and down. Wobble, don't wobble. Up. As we come up, pay attention, right? In. The dynamic of that, and I just did it static, so it's there. As we come up, this change comes through the waist. Don't wobble. One more time. Down, come around, up, in. One more time. So there's a distraction out here. Hang on a second. I want to check something. 8 o'clock, all right. Down, come around, up, in, down. pull across. One more time. And I'm going to face the other way. But 2 more times. Each of these times, pay attention, each of these times as I come through, I've done something that wasn't quite what it should be. And I'm leaning. And I compensate with my leg. Not so much. Stay up. All right? One more time. Facing this way. Down. Come around. 3. Up. In. And down. The other way. Down. Come around. Up. In. And down. Come across. And close. Salute. All right. I'm going to stop here for today. We have several things to pay attention to from this lesson. One, the jerk next door has got to be out there at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's not to pay attention to in this lesson, but that's what the noise is. All right, the things to pay attention to from this class. First, the idea that footwork, body work, all of these things are part of what we learn through the Tai Chi form. It's not sword form to start with. We don't start with sword. Second, we have the idea of working each movement so that the movement is more perfect. Better alignment, better position, nicer shape to the form. All of the things that we work towards are part of practice. Third, we have the idea of actually using the blade, right? What am I doing with this? What does this? Pretty easy. Up, come across. These kinds of things. What am I using? Which side of the blade? This side, that side, right? Which side of the blade? Tip of the blade? Edge of the blade? What am I doing with the sword? Matters. How I extend my energy through the movement matters. The whole movement has has everything. There's a little bit of everything in there. So that as we move, the intent, the dynamic, the direction, the geometry, everything that we do is included. It's not separate. We separate pieces. I want to practice this move. No? Yeah, that's better. All right? I'm going to repeat it several times. That gives me both a better sense of what I'm doing and the muscle memory to bring into my forms so that as I'm paying attention to the blade, my muscles have decided this is what you're supposed to be doing. Just do this, right? Come around. Whatever it was, I didn't want it to hit my foot. And there's something else on the other side over here. As I work through that series and I work through this change, turn the waist. As I work through that to better, I would say, harmonize what I'm doing through the movement with what I'm doing with the sword, I gain the advantage of working on that whole. It's not this one thing, this one thing, this one thing. Eventually, I have to bring them all back together. Appreciate you being here this morning. Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow with Wudang Taiji. Next week, we're going to review the turns, and we'll review a little bit more this idea of how we work with the internal energy and the intent using the sword. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.